Hey YouTube fam, what's going on? Today, it's your girl coming back with another video. Legendary, earth-shaking, jaw-dropping content coming at you right now. Right now. I hope you're having a good day. If it's not a good day, then baby, you just sit back, relax, and watch this video. It'll get better. You know why? Because this video is especially good for those that are not happy campers today. The title of this video is Don't Get Mad, Get Glad. And I know that's, from a commercial and that we've all heard of. But there's a lot there actually that we can learn from consumerism or capitalism. And actually what I use to film my YouTube stuff is I use this in order to get it high enough and elevate it just at the right angle. So that's I think that's where I got the idea, I think originally. But I was actually going to do a whole nother topic today, but then I got pissed off. I got real pissed off. And it almost had me, man. It almost got me. But then I the alchemist I am, I switched it. And I was like, no, I'm going to turn this event that was unfavorable and freaked me out this morning and turn it into a video to help others. Because anger is no bueno. It's just no bueno. There's nothing good that comes out of it. We're not really in our, our best selves when it's like that. And we want to please God with our words and our actions. And I know that when I get all irate and PO'd, for good reason too, this car almost just literally ran me over this morning. So I was all shaken up, but I'm still here. Thanks to God's grace, and it's just, I know that when I came back home, because I was just going out to get breakfast, and then breakfast was $50, and I was like, what the? And then I was feeling really irate, and then I was trying to come back home, and there was all this construction, and this huge tractor with a bunch of debris was just and right in front of me, and I was like, I'm just trying to get eggs and bacon. Oh my god! I was like, what is happening? And I was very irate, and I don't like it when I get like that because it drains me and it takes more energy to be angry. That's the other thing too. It takes more energy to be angry and to it's just not sustainable. And I know that there's plenty of valid reasons to be upset. Or PO'd or irritated, so I came back home and I was kind of cursing a lot and ranting and kind of throwing my sweatshirt into the closet, when you get home and you're just trying to take off the headphones and put the keys in the little cup and then the grocery bags and the eggs, and you're trying to just get home and just settle things down. But it's you're so mad about what you experienced out in the world, and it was literally I was gone for 20 minutes and I was so PO'd. And I was lightheaded because it put me into a state of shock that I didn't die, because the car was literally it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. So that really shook me up this morning, and I came back home and I was cursing a lot, and then I was like, God, how can how can you help me with this? Because I don't like being angry. I don't think anyone does, you know what I'm saying? It's not a fun feeling. So I looked up a couple of different verses. I guess it's gonna be kind of a shorter video today. Yeah. But the first thing that I journaled this morning, I journaled because I stopped smoking weed as of yesterday. It was yesterday? No, 2 days. Now it's 2 days. No weed. So I'm 48 hours sober. And whenever I want to smoke now, I will just eat food instead and nourish my body with calories and sustenance instead of damaging my lungs and paying more money for, damage. And because I'm not smoking now, I remember my dreams, and that's kind of why God also has been trying to tell me for way too long now, and like I really drag my knuckles on listening to that instruction. But addiction is addiction, so it's chains and shackles. But I remember my dreams when I don't smoke, obviously, and so that's part of God's, I believe, the gift He's giving me is to like have dreams that mean something that's going to help somebody someday. So I just have to keep not smoking weed so I can help other people. And that's what the realization was the other night. And I was like, it's not about me. It's not about me at all. So because I remembered my dreams, I woke up this morning and I had a dream that I was sketching my fashion design, and somebody was asking me, what are you sketching or something? And then I was like totally sketching like a fashion figure and like my fashion line and stuff, like I was showing you guys the other day, the dresses I designed. And then I journaled as soon as I woke up, because dream journaling is like a good habit to remember your dreams and to see patterns of like what your subconscious is trying to tell you. And then in that note I put, today is the day that the Lord has made, let us rejoice and be glad in it. And so, yeah, that's what this video is about. You know, today is the day, no matter what's going on. It may not be favorable right now, but this still is the day that we're blessed with. So let us rejoice and be glad in it. You know, that's really beautiful. That's such a beautiful verse to start the day. Yeah. And then when anyone is ever struggling with anger, we can look at this verse here. Ephesians 4:26 through 27. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. And do not give the devil a foothold. So like for me, when I start cursing and I'm like kind of like throwing things around and like kind of like being aggressive with like throwing the sweater back into the closet, or like kind of just like dropping things and like just like being kind of like aggressive with my own like mannerisms, like that's when I know I'm like pissed off. And like I was like, grrr! And because it like literally like felt like I died, but I didn't, because it was so close to hitting me, and I don't really have reflexes right now like that, so I didn't appreciate being put in that position when I'm just trying to cross the crosswalk. And this is literally an issue that I've experienced half a dozen times living here for about 2 years now. It's an infamous crosswalk where people stop halfway through, or if you're lucky, they stop halfway through, and then most of the time they just blow through that stop sign and that crosswalk. And so I've even raised it as a concern with the senator or the House representative of our district here, Jamal Bailey, and like almost even like did an internship with their office, just because like I was so passionate about getting this issue resolved. Because I've seen mothers with baby strollers who were like crossing, and then like the mom like glares at the car because the car's like being like an inconsiderate asshole, and like almost like, so I've like seen like a lot of, because I used to just like sit on the fire escape and like be the neighborhood watch and like try and get evidence to show to the senator's office that this really is an issue that needs to be resolved. And I've asked to get speed bumps put in right here because there are a lot of children running around in this neighborhood and it's just not safe. So that's like, you can see that I'm getting elevated now because so when we look at this verse, it's very helpful. And do not give the devil a foothold. And when I come home and I'm cursing and I'm you know, letting it all out, venting to myself and being a little aggressive with like my mannerisms or my belongings and like throwing things down or like kind of slamming the cupboard door, that's the foothold that the devil kind of like, if he sees that and like, you know, we're always being monitored, then that's kind of like giving the devil a little bit of a cracked door. It's kind of like cracking the door a little bit and saying, okay, you can like kind of like wreak havoc now because I'm letting this anger get me just a little bit, and your anger, like negativity, like will draw more negativity. So that's the thing too. Even though you have like, you might have like a really valid reason to be pissed off today, like just remember that you are in control, and despite the exterior forces around you, like for example, like when I was getting my groceries too, like some guy just like felt the need to like reach over me and like my groceries, and then in the midst of that like knocked over my backpack, because I don't like to pay like extra 50 cents or whatever for the bags, like saves money, why not? I have a backpack. And so I put the groceries in the backpack, and then he like knocked over the backpack and or like touched it and like almost knocked it over, and then like put his whole hand on it and then like put it back up on the counter. And I just like don't like people touching my things when he could have just waited. I was in line, I was about to like, I already paid and I was about to grab my groceries and like leave, but he like decided to like reach over my backpack, my groceries, and over me and like in my personal space to grab something. And I was like, you could have just waited, I'm checking out, I already paid, let me just get my stuff and move. That's what I'm gonna do, because like I don't know why like you couldn't have just waited, but now you have to like touch my things and get in my space and make a weird little moment where you like people are just inconsiderate and everyone's in a rush, and like things like that, like it really gives it starts to create a foothold in me, and I don't like people touching my stuff. Like, don't touch my backpack, like you can just wait, you're behind me in line, just wait your turn, just wait your turn. Like, are we going back to preschool, or are we an adult here in this grocery store? I just don't get it, you know? It's all good. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Okay? So we also have Psalms 37:8. Don't give in to worry or anger. It only leads to trouble. Exactly. Yeah. I thankfully know what to do to calm myself back down, and so I just like ate some food. That helped. And listened to some like bopping music, and then I kind of just like got ready for the day, and I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better. And food always helps everything. Like, food literally helps everything. So it's like, it's hard, you know, because there's like plenty of reasons why we could be choosing to stay mad all day or choosing to spread more negativity. But it's like, if because I'm in control of my responses, like, I'm going to choose to be not spreading around more negativity. So I know that they just came up and did their thing and they were selfish. It's like, that's what it is. Like, it's triggering when other people are so selfish that they have to like pretend that you're not even there in the space and like almost run me over, like, you know, even though there's a crosswalk. Things like that. It's like the selfishness of others really baffles me. And so we have to remember too that in Ephesians 4:26-27, it's like another version of this verse. And do not give the devil an opportunity to lead you into sin by holding a grudge or nurturing anger or harboring resentment or cultivating bitterness. Yeah, that's a really good one. That's why I wrote that down, because I thought that's kind of what was all going on with me this morning and stuff. I was like nurturing anger by like continuing to rant and stuff, you know. And it's like, it's okay to be angry, but what it says and what it warns us in Ephesians 4:26-27, in your anger do not sin. Jesus has even been angry before, you know what I'm saying? I can't remember which movie or scene I watched on YouTube, but it was like the scene where he's like, there's a bunch of animals in cages, and he like starts, he's like, oh yeah, it's like the church, and then he's like, how could you do this type of business or practice in my Father's home? And then he starts like kind of tearing down all the animal cages or something, and everyone's like, Jesus, like, what's wrong? Why are you angry? So it's like, don't be ashamed, or don't be embarrassed, or feel ridiculed for feeling emotions of anger, especially when it's definitely like, you know, very valid and reasonable. Like, there's plenty of reasons, you know, people provoke, people are selfish, people say mean things, you know, so just remember, God's got you in that anger, but he'll carry you out of it. He'll carry you out of it. He can see, he can understand, but he's warning us, do not just don't sin in anger. And don't let them get to you any more than they already have. If they're a third party that is intentionally trying to also provoke you and get you to be angry. Anger is one of those things that it separates people faster than anything else. Like one moment of anger, I can't remember where I heard this. It was like a long time ago. But one moment of anger can annihilate like thousands of years and eons of love. Is eon a word? One moment of anger can one moment of anger can kill like an entire everything that you've cultivated and fostered for years and years and years. It can kill that love that took trust and time and development over like minuscule moments of earned trust and like one moment of anger and just giving into that impulse. And it's a dangerous thing. Like there's times where we get, where our lives are at stake and like we need that type of adrenaline and that anger to save our lives type of thing. But when it's like in the midst of like an argument or a misunderstanding, then it's like that one moment of anger can kill literally. I'm trying to make sure that. Why do I not have data right now? What are you talking about? Okay, an indefinite and very long period of time. So, eon, yeah, one moment of anger can kill eons of love. It can just annihilate it in one moment. And that's what we want to try and avoid, because then you're going to feel regret, then you're going to feel remorse and lament the impulsiveness that you might have given into in that like strong feeling of anger. So it's dangerous, and it's like a double-edged sword. You can use it in order to like get you out of a situation or stand up for yourself, like a little bit of like that self-righteous anger where you're like, hey, you're doing this and I'm not okay with this. And it's good to show people two sides. Show them you're professional and like nice, and this is like who I am when everything is good. But if you try and cross me, you're gonna see a whole nother side, which is the authoritative and put my foot down kind of side of me. And you're gonna be like, oh, you're gonna gain more respect for me because you're gonna see, yeah, I am gonna speak up and say what you're doing is not okay and it's unacceptable, and I will not tolerate it, so I'm leaving. You can treat me better when you're gonna treat me better, and I'll be back when that's happening, but I'm not gonna put up with this. And showing people like that kind of anger, that's good. That's like valuing yourself and your worth and your time. And that's what people, yeah. I feel like that's kind of, I wish everyone was a little bit more better about valuing other people's time and their boundaries and their worth. But we have to be on guard a little bit for that because we have to stand up for ourselves sometimes. So even David cried out to God and was like, I need help with this, and I want to be protected from wicked men. And so we can see in Psalms 141:2, let my prayer be counted. Let my prayer be counted as incense before thee, and the lifting up of my hands as an evening sacrifice. And another version of this is Psalms 141, Lord, I cry unto thee, make haste unto me. So that's kind of like how I'm going to envision it next time. The next time I get like super angry and I want to rant and curse, I'm just going to like kind of put my hands like this, and I don't care how it looks. I'm going to say, Lord, I cry out unto thee and make haste unto me, because that is like a cry out to God for protection from evil and to no longer feel the anger that is like kind of inflicted upon you. So with all that said, you guys, this is pretty much the video. I really hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I just want to read this one more time because it's so strong. And do not give the devil an opportunity to lead you into sin by holding a grudge or nurturing anger or harboring resentment or cultivating bitterness. So keep that in mind. I know that people are so, inconsiderate, and, that we're in the end times, so people are extra ignorant and arrogant and selfish. So God's got you. He can bring you back down, and don't get mad, get glad. Love y'all. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay chosen.